and welcome back to my channel. Today I have prepared for you a little get ready with me on my current makeup routine, which is this look right here. It's just a very soft, pretty, and natural look. Very easy to do. I'll be going by the process step by step with some tips and techniques that I like to use when I do my makeup. So if you want to follow along, just keep on watching. Okay, so let's quickly become the person that I was a couple of seconds ago. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is we're going to prepare the skin. I don't necessarily use a primer. I don't really feel a difference when I use one. I have other steps that prevents my makeup from melting away during the day. But how I prep the skin is with my moisturizer, Tatcha. You guys know this is my ride or die. Literally. I've been using this product for many years and I will not stop. Just saying. I just love this brand so much. It's definitely my favorite brand. I love their purpose. I love their products are just amazing and make a huge difference on your skin. And I am totally manifesting working with them one day. And you can see instantly what a difference it makes on the skin. It just looks so glowy and hydrated. So the new two products that I'll be trying today is the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation and the concealer. I've never tried these. I have heard very good things and I just love the word radiant. So I have expectations that the concealer and the foundation will be radiant. Most likely look dewy on the skin, I'm assuming, which I love that. On a foundation, I don't like a matte finish. I love a dewy finish that I can maybe tone down with setting powder later or powders. I just don't like a matte foundation and then adding a bunch of powders on top afterwards. It just makes my skin look very dry and not cute. So that's why I wanted to try this one. So I am trying the shade Mont Blanc. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I'm trying that shade and it says L2, so I'm assuming that's the shade. And for the concealer, it is Nougatine. Isn't that a dessert? Nougatine? I think it is. But it's light 2.2. So we're gonna start with the foundation first, and I'm gonna apply it. I don't really know the consistency of it. I'm gonna assume it's a more runny consistency, but I'll be applying it with a beauty blender regardless, just to try it out. I'm gonna start with maybe, I would think 3 pumps for now, and then we'll see if we need more in a little bit. Okay, so this shade match is actually not that bad. I think it's actually kind of spot on compared to my natural skin tone. I haven't put any on my neck yet, so I think it's looking pretty good. As far as the texture, I would say it's not as dewy as I expected it to be. Maybe it's because I'm applying it with a beauty blender. I will try with a brush some other time, but I still like the consistency. It's not mattifying or anything to the point that I wouldn't really like it, so I still do not mind the consistency. It's still a good consistency for me. It's just not as dewy as I just expected it to be, that's all. Then that's not a bad thing at all. It also doesn't feel heavy on the skin at all, thank God. I don't like foundations that feel heavy on the skin. It's just not my vibe. It's not the vibe. So this is the foundation completely blended. It looks very good. I like it. I like the texture. It definitely does look a little more dewy now that I'm looking at it, but I also feel like that has a lot to do that I started with the Tatcha water cream. It always makes any foundation look a little more dewy than it is, which I love. That's definitely the vibe that I'm going for. The coverage is really good. It covered up all my freckles, so that's how I know that the coverage is very good. I would say it's a good medium to full coverage, and it's very buildable. Like, you can definitely make it a full coverage foundation, but I will not be adding any more. I'm assuming this is creamy. It's not going to be hard to blend since I'm not blending one eye at a time. Hopefully it's not hard. All right, so this is how much I'm applying. I'm gonna take my e.l.f. sponge. This is my favorite sponge for concealer. It literally just blends the concealer to perfection, and it gets every little area that you need it to get. It's just amazing, honestly. So we're gonna go ahead and blend that, and honestly, as I'm blending it, it doesn't look as yellow as it did on when I first applied, so that's a good thing. And I use a sponge to go on the side of my nose too, you know, the little part here. Beauty blenders typically do not get, and that's why I love this sponge. It's just I love how it's thin and it's just it gets all the little details that you need to get. I really like the concealer too. It gave me a really good coverage and it blended out really nicely. Like, my skin right now looks so smooth and radiant. See what I did there? So before I do anything else, what I do is I set only certain parts of my face. I will set my under eyes, my chin, and just my cheeks over here in this area. The rest of my face I set all the way at the end. That's just, you know, what I do personally. I use the Laura Mercier translucent powder. It's my favorite powder. I haven't really splurged on setting powders, to be honest with you. I have used a couple other ones and haven't really been a fan to the point that I would switch from Laura Mercier to those. So I'm still looking for a powder that's something new to try, and I still need to explore that more. I haven't really explored the powder side. So what I do is I use the same sponge that I use for my concealer. I just use the other side, and I'm going to grab the powder on the sponge, and I'm going to just press it on my under eyes. And when you press the powder, you want to make sure you're looking straight. You're not looking up or down, because if you're looking up and you set it and then you look down, you're going to see the little creases start to create, depending on your under eye. But I have seen that just looking straight sets it the best, because on a normal day, you're not going to be walking around like this or walking around like this. You're going to be walking around looking straight ahead. So that's how you want to set your under eyes. I will also set my chin. Oh, and I lied. I also set another part, which is over here. That's when I get crease. That's when I get creases the most, is over here, my smile lines, because I laugh literally all day, every day. And I get smile lines. I just remember when we lived in Jersey and I would hang out with my best friend, I would literally apply 3 times the amount of powder that I would apply on a normal basis, because all we did was laugh. All we did was just joke around and literally had the best time ever. And I would get smile lines within 15 minutes of hanging out with her. I miss her. It's like one of the hardest parts of moving is you literally miss the people you leave behind so much, and it just really sucks. It really does. And I wasn't really prepared for that. I knew it was gonna happen, but I didn't know how I was gonna feel. So definitely such a hard thing to deal with when you're moving is being away from those people that just made you so happy. And yeah, you know, it's not like you never see them again, of course, and that's what I think, and that's what I try to think, and you know, tell myself that we will see each other again, we will visit. I mean, we have made it a goal to visit New Jersey at least like 1 time a year, and whoever wants to visit us to come over, so we basically see them twice. So, you know, or go on trips together or do stuff together, just to see them more often. And of course family, like Daniel's family still lives there, my husband's family still lives there, and I just miss them so much. We would visit them every weekend, and it just feels so much different not being able to do that, and you know, not being able to text my best friend and be like, hey, like, let's hang out, let's go out and grab coffee, or let's go out shopping or whatever. It's a lot different. It hits different when you're not able to do that stuff anymore. So, but anyways, we went to Jersey in January and saw them, so we were very happy about that. We were very happy to plan that trip, so that was definitely amazing. So next we're gonna do brows. I use the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. I've been using this for a very, very long time. Been doing my brows like this for a long time actually, and I like it. It works for me. I do want to try other things. I want to try a lot of things. Listen, as a makeup artist, if you like makeup, or if you are a makeup artist or just like makeup like me, and you have a certain technique that you use constantly, I am sure you've been wanting to try new things, and I'm the same. I know certain things work, but that doesn't mean you can't try new things in the meantime. So yeah. It's kind of hard for me to talk when I'm doing my brows because it requires me to concentrate. But on the topic of moving to Florida, I've been wanting to record a video here for YouTube on how the experience was for us, any tips that I have for if you're looking to move to a different state. I have a lot of tips that I could share with you guys. A lot of people have been asking us how we like it here. Just to give you a short answer, we absolutely love it. Like I said, the only hard part is getting separated from family and friends that we were used to being around a lot. That definitely sucks, but other than that, it has been such an amazing experience, and we just absolutely love it. Like I was saying, I've been getting a couple of questions about our move here, and I wanted to definitely record a video touching on all those questions and just talking about it, because it is like a very challenging process. Change in general is just very challenging, and moving to a different state is, you know, it can be very tough, it can be very stressful, it can be very, very challenging. So I would love to be able to help others that are moving and to making their move as seamless as possible, just like we did. There's a lot of steps that we took to make our move very seamless. And yes, and I know that's not the same for everyone. I know a lot of people struggle when they're moving for many different reasons, and I wouldn't want anyone to feel like that. Moving is supposed to be something very exciting, and you stepping out of your comfort zone, you trying to experience new things in life, maybe chase opportunities, maybe move closer to family, maybe move somewhere that you've been dreaming of living for a very long time. Like, people move for very different reasons, or maybe you are forced to move. Unfortunately, that can happen too, but regardless of the situation, you just want to make the best out of it. So that's mainly why I wanted to make that video. Going back to the brows, I am well aware that right now they look god-awful. That's just the process of me doing my brows. I just basically create strokes that go with the flow of my brows, and then I go ahead and clean them up, and they look so much better after that. So now's the best part, where we clean up the brows and they no longer look like this. For that, I use the P. Louise base, literally the best base on this planet. I have used many different things to clean up my brows and also prep my lid, because we're basically gonna do that at the same time. while we clean our brows, we're also gonna prep the lid for shadow, and this works magic for both of those things. It just does amazing things and holds up the shadow for hours. What I do is I take more of a flat brush. This is the BH Cosmetics number 8 from the Rose Gold collection. And any product that I use, I put it on here. Just an FYI. And this I got from Amazon actually too. So I just take a little bit of that product and I'm going to start cleaning my brows. So I'm going to start from the end and I just clean it up from under. And then for the front of the brows, I kind of just cut it like this. Kind of just create a line right under to clean it up. And I connect that line to the arch. And it looks so much more clean. And then I just drag the rest down. You instantly just see how much better this brow looks compared to this one. This one looks just so messy and this one looks a lot better. I need to brush my brows because we definitely don't want them to be this dark. They're very dark at the moment. So I'm just going to brush them up and take off some of that product so they just look more natural. Once the brows look good, I finish up the base of my eyes. So I'm going to take a little more of the P. Louise and we are going to apply it on the eyelid to prep that. So I take a little bit of a wider brush and I'm going to take some of the P. Louise and please don't let me break it. We're just going to, I just tap it on there. And even my lids are very veiny, so that's why it's important. I mean, some people don't even use any base on the eyes, which, I mean, I don't know how the eyeshadow would last if you're not using a base on your eyes. But, I mean, I guess some people are just very lucky. And also some people do not have veiny lids, so they can get away with it. So I cannot, definitely. You can instantly see the difference when I apply base versus when I don't. Like, you see how this eyelid is so veiny and reddish, pinkish, reddish. I definitely don't want that. If you want to see the true potential of shadows, you should definitely be using a base. And not just any base. P. Louise is just, like I said, it's seriously the best one on the market, especially if you're working with colors. It just emphasizes the colors so much and makes them 3 times more vibrant than they already are. It's insane. And you're also able to pack on the pigment a lot better. When you see those, you know, looks on Instagram from makeup artists that the color is very vibrant. I mean, yes, do they edit the pictures? Absolutely, but it's also the P. Louise base. You're most likely using P. Louise, and they're able to just pack on that pigment and make it look literally like it looks in the pan, like as vibrant as it looks in the pan, which is amazing. And you always want that when you're working with intense colors. You want their true shades to show up, and that's exactly what P. Louise does, and even for neutral looks too. So immediately after I blended with the sponge, I go ahead and grab a fluffier brush and a little bit of setting powder. And I'm gonna go ahead and set the lid. Now we can start on shadow. So like I said, we're going very simple, nothing crazy. We're actually gonna be using the e.l.f. Retro Paradise palette. This palette is limited edition, but you can use any palette that has these shades, obviously. Another good, very, very good alternative is the Makeup by Mario palette, the Master Mattes. These mattes are phenomenal, just phenomenal. Very, very good quality shadows. I will say that the main difference between the two is this palette has a lot more kickback, the shadows, so you might experience a little fallout with this one. But other than that, both of them are excellent. I just use this one in particular because I like the shades. Obviously, as you can see, hit pan on this one because I really like it. And we're gonna be starting with that one actually. Then I'm just going to pack this on the brush, and we're just gonna apply base essentially all over the lid, but I first focus it on the outer corner, and we are then going to blend it in the lid, but I just focus it first on the outer corner. You obviously don't want it to be this deep in the inner corners. I feel like you guys can't see me with this mirror, it's a little too big. That's why I feel like I keep switching mirrors all the time, but I just want you to be able to see what I'm doing. So yes, so I just packed it on the outer corner, and now we're blending it into the inner corner. I'm using the same brush, but as you can tell, not a lot of product is coming in the front because we packed on most of it in the outer corner. Now I usually just close my eye and we're gonna blend it outwards, just so it's very cohesive. And you see, just like that, literally so fast. It blends very easily. That's why I like these shadows, and I love this shade in particular too. So we're gonna do the other eye, and I'm really not even grabbing that much. They're just very pigmented. Like I said, the only downside is that some of the shades are a little powdery, but they are pigmented. So honestly, don't mind a powdery shadow as long as it's very pigmented. If it's powdery and not pigmented, that's when we have a problem. Like, that's when it's a no for me, because you can't be powdery and not be pigmented. You have to be powdery and be pigmented. There's no other way. Just saying. So we're doing the same thing with this one. Close my eye. I'm gonna blend it like that, and we're gonna take it in. And you can be as messy, quote unquote, as you want, because it doesn't matter if it goes, you know, not all over the lid. We want to leave the inner corner blank, and I will show you why. But it doesn't matter if you're a little messier, you can still blend the shade around and fix it up and make it look better. So it's really not that big of a deal. That's why this look is pretty easy, because it doesn't require, you know, any cut crease or anything like that. Anything that might be a little harder and more precise. It's more of a blown out blended look. So the way I check that both lids are even as far as pigment goes is I put my mirror down and I look down just to see, you know, how much we need to blend, what parts. You will instantly, when you do this, you will see what parts are a little more intense and you need more blending, or which parts, on the other hand, don't have as much shadow and they need a little more shadow. So I can tell this part is a little more intense and I need to blend it out. The key to having a more blended eye look is to having a clean brush on hand that you can after blend out that shadow, and that prevents you from adding any more pigment that you don't want on your lid, and it also allows you to blend out the shadow that you have in your lid right now, because it does need blending. Even though you are using a blending brush to pack on the pigment, you still need to use a clean brush to blend it out and make it more seamless. That's what makes a big difference in having a harsh eye look and having a very blended and nice eye look. The second shade I will be grabbing is this darker brown over here, Coconut, and that we are only going to focus on the outer corner. We are not going to use that shade anywhere else other than the outer corner. If I only want to focus a shade on a specific part of the lid, I grab a very small blending brush and I'm going to dip in this shade. And I'm going to tap off the excess. And that we are going to just focus on the outer corner. So I'm just basically tapping it only over here. If you feel like it's too intense, you can always just tap your brush or just rub it against your hand, the back of your palm. And then what we're doing is we're just slowly blending it. You want to start as close to the lash line as possible and slowly start blending it up. You don't want to start from up here and then you realize it's too high up. You would rather start from the bottom of your lash line and start working it up towards the outer corner. Now I'll take the brush that we used before and I'm going to just dip a little bit in the shade Sandy Bum, the one that we put all over the lid, and I'm going to go in this spot in particular and blend that part out to basically combine Sandy Bum and Coconut together. So again, nothing looks harsh, nothing looks unblended. Just like I mentioned before, you don't need to blend everything the first try. You always go back afterwards so you can always catch any harsh lines or any imperfections that you left before. So last step for the eyes, for the shadow at least, because we still have to do liner, but I'm gonna go in with this shade, this very light vanilla shade called Canvas. And we are just going to put that on the inner corner and kind of just blend it out. And that will be all as far as the shadow goes. I told you it's just very simple, just 3 shades. And this gives it that extra effect and it makes it look even more blown out and even better. I just love adding a lighter shade in between of natural shades because it just kind of like lightens them up and just brings it all together and opens your eye a little more and just makes your eyes look a little bigger because it's applied in the inner corner. And that's why I like cut creases, especially for people that have hooded eyes. Again, like me, I'm people. Because it just opens up the eye and it literally makes your eyelid look so big. I swear to you. One of my favorite cut creases, like half cut creases that I did, is one that I did recently. I have posted a tutorial and a picture on IG, and I used the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette, which again, I cannot rave about that palette enough. The mattes are absolutely amazing, so blendable. And I used that palette for that look, and I did a half cut crease and my eyelids looked huge. Literally looked so pretty. I was obsessed with that look. And yeah, if you want to check it out, it's on my Instagram. It's the one that I'm wearing, the fuchsia / red lips. So that look is definitely one of my probably my favorite neutral looks I've ever done. It just looked so good. So yeah, so this is how it looks like. So I'm just basically taking it, kind of like this is my favorite technique to use for a half cut crease, quote unquote, that you're not really, you know, carving out with concealer. It's just a very good technique, again, to make it look as if you kind of did a cut crease, but you really didn't put that much effort into it, which is the best part. And then I'm taking the Sandy Bum shade and I'm kind of going back in here and kind of pushing it against the shade Canvas to give it a more ombre effect and a more blended look. So that is it for shadow for the lid. We will do a little bit of a shadow on the lower lash line later, obviously, but for now we're done with the lid. Next step is eyeliner. I am using the liquid liner by Anastasia. The pigment on this liner is intense. It's a true black liner and I just love the brush. It's an amazing brush, very flexible but also sturdy for you to create a very nice wing if you need to, and it's very precise too. I just love this liner. So for this look, you can either honestly do a wing or you can just not do a wing. I'm personally not going to be doing a wing. I usually don't do a wing when I do this look. So I'm going to keep it the way I usually do it. Use the other. I keep grabbing this mirror. So yeah, I'm just not going to be doing a wing because I usually don't do one. And what to do is I'm going to start from the inner corner. Again, I can't really talk during this part, just saying. Although it's really, this brush makes the liner, makes applying liner so much easier. That's why I love this liner in particular. I have used so many eyeliners and they are either not as intense, they either crack, they either dry down very shiny, and I don't like when an eyeliner dries down shiny. I like when an eyeliner dries down matte. There we go. Easy peasy. So now we're actually ready for some lashes. So for lashes, I will be using ones by the Sephora collection. These are my favorite lashes to use for simple looks like this one, or for like everyday, just a very cute lash. It's in the style Feisty, and it's very affordable too, so which we love, and you can use multiple times. First, I am going to apply mascara. My favorite, L'Oreal Telescopic. Literally my ride or die mascara. I don't have tried many, have not switched from this one. I've been using it for many years, probably as long as I've been using the Tatcha water cream. Those two products have stayed with me, they work for me, and they're just amazing. So for days that I don't wear lashes, which is, I mean, most days of the week, I use this one and it gives me such a lift and such volume that I don't even need false lashes. Okay, so now we have our lashes on. So what I do after is I just run a little mascara through them. I just coat them one more time with just a little mascara just to make sure we combine the real lashes with the falsies. We're gonna go in with the shade Sandy Bum and blend it on the lower lash line. And this is the same shade that we used for the lid. I'm gonna grab this little blending brush. Just gonna pick up some of that, and there's my mirror. Okay, and I'm just gonna pick up some of that and blend it on the lower lash line. Oh, I have the palette so far away from me. Clean brush again, and we're just gonna go ahead and blend the lower lash line. And then what we're gonna do is we are going to apply the darker shade, the darker brown, Coconut, only on the outer corner, just to give it a little dimension. I'm going to take a smaller brush that is more tight to apply that on the outer corner because I don't want to apply too much. I swear when you add mascara in your lower lash line, the whole eye look looks completely different. Like, I swear I look so dumb when I don't apply mascara on the lower lash line. I'm like, I don't know if I'm feeling this look. And then I apply mascara on the lower lash and I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling this look. It just makes it look completely different. So now we're just gonna let it dry for just a couple of seconds. And then we're gonna finish up the face with bronzer, highlighter, and blush. So we're gonna get to that now. So for bronzer, I'm gonna be using Fenty Beauty powder bronzer in Private Island. So I'm gonna grab my big fluffy brush, and I usually just push up the bronzer. I just tap it and just push it up. Just slightly, like not moving or shifting the makeup in any way. just pressing on it and just going in an upward motion to lift the cheeks. And for my nose, I kind of just pat some on there. And that's basically how I contour. Well, it's not really contouring, it would be bronzing. Now we will be applying blush. My favorite blush at the moment is by Grwm. I do use the Tease Me, this one, the lighter pink. I am a blush fanatic and I just love my blush. I used to not apply blush when I did my makeup. Like, what was wrong with me? But that was like years ago though. And then I first fell in love with the Makeup Forever blushes, which I still love and use. I've just been using this one, the one by Grwm, a lot more the past couple months because I love it. I love the formula. I love how pigmented it is and how it blends in the skin and just melts. It looks super natural. I just put a lot. A lot of you might think this doesn't look natural, but to me it does. Okay, to me this is natural. To me this is a natural portion of blush. And lastly, just to cut the cheeks, I take this beauty blender with setting powder on it. I learned this trick from Manny MUA. He used to do this. I think he still does. He used to do this a lot, and I started doing it too, and I saw a big difference. So I kind of go over here and I just cut cheek, and it just makes your cheeks look more snatched. Keep adding powder until I'm happy with the amount that's on there. I do put a lot, but don't let that scare you. We are gonna wipe it off eventually, so it's not gonna be too harsh or anything, and your skin is not going to look like this. If you do this technique, it's not going to look this white. It's just going to cut the products that you had there previously. And I kind of do it on the side of my nose too, just to kind of like bring the nose in a little bit, give it that illusion. So while this bakes, we're gonna go in with a lip combo. So I will be using for lip liner Makeup by Mario. It's this nudie shade, I think it's pronounced Dmitry. And then we're gonna be going in with the liquid lip by Dragon Beauty and the shade Bad Bitch. But yes, I think Mario did such a great job with the collection. All of the products that I tried so far, I am very satisfied with. So we're gonna go with the liquid lip. Also, this liquid lipstick is my favorite. I just love anything that's like pinky, like a pinky nudie shade. Oh, that is my thing. I love shades like these, like this one. And it can be it can even be worn alone. I usually wear it alone, but some days I do the lip liner too. Okay, so now some last steps. I'm just going to take a clean brush and wipe away this bake. And take that off and take this off too. See, like I said, it doesn't leave like a harsh line or anything. You can tell it's just the cheeks are just more defined and carved. Like you can tell the difference, but it doesn't leave any harsh lines or anything like that. That's gonna make it noticeable that it's like a big harsh line on your cheeks. Next, we're gonna go in with the highlighter. I love this one by Fenty Beauty. I've been using it for a long time. Again, I like anything pinky, so this is what this highlighter is, and I've hit pan on both shades. This one a lot more, so you know we're gonna use this one. So before we apply the highlighter, at this point I set my face so that way it's dewy and the highlighter just melts in the skin. So I'm just going to cover my hair, and I'm using the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. And again, this is where I need the fan one more time to just dry everything up. You see how this mist just brings everything together and just makes the skin look so nice and dewy. So I'm using my favorite brush for a highlighter. This is the Morphe X Jaclyn Hill brush, and it's the GH09. And we're gonna pick up the shade, and we're just gonna apply it on the cheekbones. It's just such a beautiful highlighter. I'm obsessed with it. It's just so pretty. Just this pinky sheen, and then I'm just lightly gonna add it on the nose, just the bridge of the nose, just like that. And also yes, I do use this big fluffy brush. I do it on the brown bone, and some of it falls on the outer corner too, which I don't care at all. I actually like this look. That's what I'm going for. If you don't like it to fall on the outer corner of the eye, then you can just take a more concentrated brush, kind of like this one, like a little fan brush, and just concentrate it only on the arch of your brow. But I personally like it when it falls down a little bit. It just makes it a little prettier for me. And I also take a very small I'm just gonna spray with some setting spray, and we're gonna apply that as an inner corner highlight. So right over here, this highlighter makes a very pretty inner corner highlight too. It's just a very good highlighter. I love this one. Apply like this. And this little brush, by the way, is Morphe, the M213. I love using this brush for many different instances. Mainly if whatever I need it to be concentrated on the eye, I use it for that reason. And that is basically it as far as the makeup goes. I'll put my hair down a little bit and fix it up, and I'll be right back to show you the end result. This is the final look. So again, just very simple, very blended with blush, bronzer, a cute lip, just very cute and feminine. I will link my media accounts down below. I mainly use Instagram. I also use TikTok. I also use Like to Know It for basically linking all the products that I use on pictures that I post on Instagram. So that app is amazing if you're wondering what I'm wearing on the picture or what makeup products I use. Even though I link them under the tutorials, but sometimes I post pictures that are not included in a tutorial, so I link all the products on Like to Know It. And you can purchase them. You can literally click right on the product and purchase it if you like it, or just save it. And you can also get inspo from other creators that post on that app. It's just such an amazing app. So yeah, so my top ones: Instagram, TikTok, Like to Know It, and now again I'm gonna commit on uploading on YouTube once a week at least. I have a lot of video ideas that I want to cover, so you guys should subscribe just to keep up and turn on your notifications so that way you get notified anytime I upload a video. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you either got some inspo from this video or learned something or just had fun watching it. Either one makes me happy. And I will see you on the next video. Bye.